Right, we're delighted to say we've been joined in the studio by one of Britain's brightest boxing talents, like middleweight world title challenger Brian Rose. Brian, lovely to have you in the studio.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here.
It's your first time in here, isn't it?
It's my debut.
It's your debut.
Yeah.
It's great to have you in here. Right, the full details of your fight with Demetrius Andrade for the WBO belt have just literally been announced today. What can you tell us?
I mean, it's amazing news. I've been waiting for this news all my life. I've been ticking over for the last few weeks training. It's a dream come true for me. A day that I've been waiting for, like I say, for all my life, since I started boxing at the age of 9.
Wow.
I know you're going on ringside a little later on this evening. I think you're going to reveal more details then. What can you tell us here on Sky Sports News now in terms of where and when?
I can tell you it's 14th of June and it's looking like the East Coast. I really don't know where. It's not that I can't tell you, I really don't know where.
Okay.
But it's the 14th of June, it's the East Coast, and I'm looking forward to it.
And how does it feel about, you know, having to try and win that belt in Andrade's sort of backyard and going over there instead of him coming to where you're, you know?
It's a tough task for anyone, let alone me. I mean, the critics have always wrote me off sort of thing, but I've always prevailed in the end, you know. As long as I keep winning and proving people wrong, that's all I need to do, and I can promise you I'm going to do it this fight as well. I love being the underdog, you know. Throughout my career, people have put me down and I've had my setbacks, but I'm going to prove everyone wrong and bring that world title back to the UK.
I mean, he does have a formidable record, doesn't he? 20 fights, 20 wins, 13 knockouts. What type of fighter is he? I
mean, he's a southpaw fighter, so he's going to be awkward, and there's no doubt he's a world-class fighter because he's got a world title. His amateur pedigree is really good. You know, there's no doubt he was a top amateur as well, but, you know, he hasn't been in with the sort of fighters that I've been in with. I've been in with tough fighters. He's not boxed anyone yet. I've done 5 or 6 12-rounders. He's done 1 or 2 12-rounders, you know. Experience-wise, it's on my side, so I don't understand why I am such an underdog. I mean, but I always think that, you know, people put me down and keep saying I'm going to get beat, but I don't see myself as an underdog. I'm confident of going over there and ripping that title away from me.
People do say you're the underdog there. It is your first world title fight. Just tell us how that is different then. You've fought plenty of fights. You say you've got the experience, but stepping up to the profile of a world title fight.
Of course. I mean, I've never boxed abroad as a professional. I boxed all over the world as an amateur, but as a professional, I've never boxed abroad. So, you know, like I say, it's a tough task, and experience-wise, it's going to be massive experience for me and Bobby, my trainer. But, you know, I'm not going over there to make up the numbers. I'm going over there to win that world title.
We can have a little look at the final eliminator that you had that got you this shot at the world title. Take us through it. How was that as an experience, and how pleased were you with your performance? I
mean, for me, it's the toughest fight I've ever had, and probably the toughest fight I'll ever be involved in, including this next fight, because it's a different sort of fight. I had to dig deep in this fight and show how much I wanted it and how much I wanted that world title. I've earned my shot the hard way, but there's no doubt, you know, I'm in this mandatory position for a reason. It's because I won that final eliminator. A lot of people get the shots through getting a lucky chance or, you know, being accepted as a voluntary. I've been accepted as he's got to fight me. You know, there's no getting out of it, and I've earned that shot.
And there are some huge names, aren't there, in the light middleweight division. If you get past Andrade, who would be your ideal next fight? I
mean, Floyd Mayweather's at my weight, and I mean, that's a dream fight for anyone in terms of money. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to go over there and beat Floyd Mayweather, because I'm a realist, you know, and I've got a tough task ahead with Demetrius Andrade, so I'll get through this and then try and unify the belts against Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather, you know. It's dream the impossible, and that's what I've done throughout my career, and dream the impossible, and it's getting me somewhere. I've got a shot at the world title, and then when I've done this, I'll look for the big money fights.
And we can tell from your accent you're from the Northwest, and you've got in your corner a man who's trained arguably the most famous boxer from the Northwest. Tell us more.
I mean, definitely, it spurs me on, the fact that I am with someone like Bobby Rimmer, who did train Bobby Rimmer alongside Billy Graham.
Ricky Hatton, yeah.
Billy Graham trained Ricky Hatton, and Bobby learnt from Billy Graham, working with Ricky Hatton, so I'm learning off the best also, so it gives me the confidence to go over there and take it away from him.
Any ambitions to have a big fight in your hometown, Blackpool?
I mean, that could have been this next fight. We were trying to get Demetrius Andrade over to Blackpool. That would have been a dream come true for me, but I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, if I win this fight, when I win this fight, Eddie Hearn will get the fight in Blackpool at Bloomfield Road. That'd be a dream come true for me.
Fantastic. Well, all the best. Thank you so much for coming on,
Thanks
Brian.
very much.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Brian. Thank you.
And you can hear much more from Brian. He's going to be on ringside. He's going straight there. He'll be a guest alongside Kell Brook, who has a world title target of his own. That's from 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 1.